Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chilson, in your testimony, you mentioned Microsoft's recent announcement to reopen 3 Mile Island to power one of its data centers in Pennsylvania. It's at the heart of the district that I'm honored to represent. Constellation Energy, by reopening it, will create approximately 3,400 new jobs, create over $3 billion in state and federal taxes, adding $16 billion to Pennsylvania's GDP. Can you, Constellation obviously owns 3 Mile Island, but Microsoft could have said, well, we want the most efficient. I know we were just talking about efficiency for data centers, and that data center operators don't want, or maybe don't care. That's the inference. They don't care about the efficiency of the power they get. So why didn't Microsoft come to Pennsylvania, to the PJM, and say, well, look, we need this much power. We want you to build this much solar, or we want you to add this much wind, or this much renewable? Why did they pick 3 Mile Island?
I think they're looking at the trade-offs and the cost to energy there, and getting more energy from a facility that has a proven ability to generate it, and I think the ability to mobilize it quickly. This is a race, not just in a highly competitive race among companies in the U.S., but obviously internationally, and so getting this done quickly, I think, is really important, and I think they saw the opportunity to jump on this particular supply. Do
you know the efficiency rating of nuclear power, particularly 3 Mile Island? Is it 95% efficient, 97% when it was operating previously? Do you?
I don't know offhand. I suspect there are some other people on this panel who might be able to tell you that.
It's in the high 90s, right? And it's base load power, right? And it's not dependent on the sun shining or the wind blowing. Do data centers, should they be concerned about baseload power that is reliable and consistent 24 hours a day, 365 days a year?
Absolutely. They run some of the most important services. They support some of the most important services that we all use all the time, and so they need to be up and running all the time.
Mr. Mills, you seem interested in answering, and you can go where you want to with this. We've got a little bit of time left, but we're looking at, and as Mr. Chilson said, at a race, and a race often with our adversary, and as they describe us, the enemy, which is China. What can we learn as the United States from an energy perspective from China in winning this race?
Well, that's speed matters, I guess, would be the short answer. That the Chinese are very good at building nuclear plants in 4 years, new ones.
Well, hold on a second. China also provides 85, somewhere in that percentage, of solar panels and solar panel-related battery.
Correct, yes, sir.
Why aren't they, if they provide that and they're so good at that, why aren't they using those things to meet their Paris Climate Accord requirements and to show the world that this works for winning this race? Why aren't they doing that?
Well, I think, not to be a cynic, they are doing that, of course. They're building everything, but they're also building coal plants at a furious pace as well. And they produce over 95% of the silicon needed for photovoltaic cells in the world on coal-fired grids. About 2/3 of their grid is coal-fired, as you know. And the location of the energy-intensive manufacturing of polysilicon to make photovoltaic cells is on the coal-intense part of the grid. So China recognizes that power is fundamental, that getting it quickly and inexpensively matters. I'm not endorsing China's environmental policies, however, because
and neither am I.
I think we can thread the needle in between the two. I was pleased to hear that you're from the district that I visited on March 28th, 1979. Not to date myself.
I lived there at that time.
We may have bumped into each other.
Still do.
I spent the week of the accident at the site and spent the next half dozen years of my life defending the virtues of nuclear energy, unsuccessfully, obviously, since we abandoned it largely. But
well,
I think
it's coming back.
It is.
Awesome news.
I think the refurbishment of TMI is a very good sign, because it's possible to bring that back online. There's only maybe a half dozen reactors like that. But if I may answer the question, why did Microsoft choose that? It chose that because you can quickly get an enormous amount of highly reliable power. And of course, Microsoft likes the fact that it's non-combustion power.
Highly reliable, highly efficient, highly affordable, right?
Yes, sir. On all the above.
But they didn't ask for, you can put up a lot of solar panels quickly too, right?
Yeah, I think you're going to be fair, I think you're going to see both. So if you look at what's going on in Louisiana with the large new Meta facility, it's 3 gigawatts, like three or four 3 Mile Islands worth of power requirements. And they're going to build windmills, solar arrays, and almost 3 gigawatts
Would they be
gas.
doing that without federal and state subsidies for the non-traditional power sources?
I am skeptical that they would, but I think
Me too.
I think, given the amount of money these companies have, I share Mr. Slocum's view that these are very deep-pocketed organizations. I think they would still, this is my suspicion, I'm all for getting rid of all the subsidies. I'm on record frequently before Congress on this. I think that they would still build a lot of solar and wind, but a lot less of it than they are now doing.
I yield.